Hi, everybody. All right. I think people are still joining, but we can start with introductions. So, just state your name and then the article that you read last week and what it was about. Chanali, would you like to go?
I'm Chanuli. I read an article about Princess Diana. Diana, Diana, Princess of Wales, commonly called uh, Princess Diana. Original name Diana Frances Spencer. She was born on 31st of August in 1961. She was the first wife of Prince Charles, and Diana Spencer became Diana, Princess of Wales, when she married Prince Charles on 29th of July 1981. The royal wedding ceremony was broadcast on television around the world. Nearly 1 billion people from 74 countries have watched this wedding ceremony. That's being called the wedding of the century. She was, in the words of former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair, the people's princess. Diana was also known for her charity work and her fashion image. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. All right. Let's see. Saruki, would you like to go? Or Tisa?
Hello, I am Kisan. I read the article about Elon Musk. He is the richest person in the world. He is born on 28 June 1971. His motherland is South Africa. At age 12, he created a video game and sold it to a computer magazine. That is his beginning on the technology field. Then he started his path and he's gone that path step by step correctly. He enrolled in graduate school in physics at Stanford University in California, but he left after only 2 days because he felt that the internet had much and work in physics. He is a creator, CEO, and founder in SpaceX, Tesla, and his new project is Neuralink. Uh, Neuralink can control a person and animal's mind. That is a wonderful project.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, awesome. We can just move on from introductions then. Okay, and we're going to be doing this week's lesson on prefixes, and then next week we'll work on suffixes. So prefixes are letters where we that we add to like the beginning of a word to change its meaning. And they can create like a new word with opposite opposite in meaning of the word that it was attached to. For example, war versus anti-war. And they can also make a word negative or express relations of time, place, or manner. So that's like the general definition of prefixes. All right. And all right, this is these are like examples of base words and then the prefix version of that word and the meaning of that like the prefix implies. So for example, if the base word is possible and then the prefix word, when we add the im, it means the im would mean the opposite of the word being currently said. So you have the possible turning into impossible. And so as you can see, we have various different types of ways that prefixes can like change words. So you can also use it for negation or to mean the opposite of something. You could use it to like describe time. So for example, pre-war or post-war, so time like before or after. And then you can also use it to describe place, and then manner as well, with cook turning into overcook. All right, so we can do there's a lot of prefixes in English, and I'm just going to go over the like most common ones for this week, and then we can talk about like or give examples of that, and then later on maybe make some sentences with those. All right, so here. So our first prefix that we're going to work on is anti, and anti means is against or opposed to. So one example is anti-war. Can someone give me another example of a word that uses the prefix anti?
Antivirus.
Yeah.
Antioxidants.
Yep. Antivirus, antioxidants. All right, so these are all examples of words with the prefix anti, that means against or opposed to. Perfect. So this auto means self. So for example, autobiography means just a biography about yourself. So can someone give me another example? This one is a little harder because not many words use this a lot, but it's still important to know. So does anyone have another example that they can think of that uses the word auto? So like as a hint, I guess it's another word for car or truck that uses the word auto. Yes,
Automobile?
perfect. Automobile. So that is another example of using auto to prefix, which has come before a word to change the meaning. So automobile. All right, and the next one is D, like, and that means to reverse or change. So for example, decontaminate means we're like, I guess, changing the contamination. We're uncontaminating it. So can someone give me another example of words that use the prefix D?
Decomposition.
Yeah. Decomposition.
Dehydrate.
Perfect.
Depend.
Depend isn't it doesn't use the prefix necessarily, it's just a full word that happens to have the D at the front. Usually prefixes follow already like complete words. So like for example, like contaminate, composition, and hydration are all their own words. We just have the prefix preceding it or like going before it to change the meaning of that of the word that we already had or know. So the next one is dis, which means to reverse or remove. So for example, is disagree. So agree turns into disagree. Does someone have another example of a word using the prefix dis?
Disapproval.
Sorry, one more time.
Disconnect.
Disapproval.
Yes, I heard disconnect. And
Disclaim.
I'm so sorry. One more time.
Disclaim.
Can you spell that? I'm sorry. Are you saying dis what? Sorry.
Disclaim. Claim.
Oh, disclaim, like disclaimer. Yes. I'm so sorry. There you go. There you go. Perfect. So disagree, disconnect, disclaimer. All right. Next is down. So this can mean you usually add this to reduce or lower. So for example, downgrade is one example. Does anyone have any other examples? This one is also
Downward. Downward.
yeah, so download.
Downwards. Down.
I mean, I don't know if downwards would necessarily count because it's similar to the example we had over here with the I forgot the word, but it's you know, it's just part of the full word. It's not really like a prefix. All right. I'll give you an example for for extra, because this one is a little harder, but extra just essentially means beyond. So for example, extraordinary. We also have an example like extraterrestrial, right?
Extracurricular.
Yeah, extracurricular. I'm sorry for this. Move that a little bit. There you go. Extracurricular. There you go. Perfect. So extraordinary, extraterrestrial, and extracurricular. All right. These are also more examples of prefixes. So another one is hyper, and hyper just means to take something to the extreme. So for example, hyperactive would mean they're just extremely active. So does anyone have another example using hyper as the prefix of the
Hyper.
word? Can you say that one more time?
Hyperlink.
Oh yeah, hyperlink. Hyperlink. Hyperspeed is another one.
Hyper accurate.
Sorry, one more time.
Hyper accurate. Hyper accurate.
Yeah, hyper accurate could be it. There you go. All right. Next is all right, this looks a little confusing, but if you said it's just il, im, in, and these are all prefixes that they all mean the same thing. So did they just mean not? So legal, if you add the prefix il, it just means not legal or illegal. So does anyone have more examples using any of these prefixes? And they all mean not. So
Irregular.
mhm.
Immoral.
Irregular means not regular. Sorry, one more time.
Irresponsible.
Yeah, irresponsible.
Inappropriate.
So
Impossible.
inappropriate, impossible. Yep, perfect. These are all really, really good examples. All right. Now, inter just means between. So interactive, it just means, you know, there's interaction between two people, right? So does anyone have another word, for example, using the word inter?
Interpersonal.
Intersect.
Yeah. So interpersonal.
Intersect.
Intermediate.
Yeah, intermediate. Yeah, I heard intersect as well. All right, perfect. Good job. All right, and the next one is mega. Mega just means very big or important. So one example is megabyte. Do you have another example using the prefix mega? I'm sorry, could you say that one more time?
Megapixel.
Yeah, megapixel.
Megahertz.
All right, these are really good examples. So as you can see, there are a lot of words in tech that use this. So megabyte, megapixel, megahertz. Now we have, let's talk about the prefix mid. Mid just means middle, so just average. So for example, midday is just the middle of the day.
Midnight.
Yeah, perfect. So midnight is middle of the night. I mean, yeah, you can use mid for like even for months, so like mid-August. My birthday is in mid-August. Right. Next one is miss. Miss just means incorrectly or badly. So for example, misaligned means it's just badly aligned or incorrectly aligned. Do we have any other?
Misunderstand.
Yeah, mistake, misunderstand. So all of these are good examples of using the prefix miss. So misaligned, mistake, misunderstand, they all mean. All right. Next is non, which means not. So this just follows it just like, for example, non-payment means they haven't paid something, or they like, so not paid not paid, right? So do we have any?
Communicable.
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
Non-communicable.
Non-stop.
Non-pure.
Yep, non-stop.
Non-existent.
Yes, non-existent. And I will fix this. Sorry, what is happening here? Non-existent. There you go. Can't even see what I'm writing. Non-stop. Non-existent. All right, perfect. So non-payment.
Non-pure.
Yes. For pure, we usually use un, which means like a very similar thing, but we use unpure instead of non-pure. They mean the same thing. It's just I don't know. People don't really use non-pure when talking about unpure things. Did you have one more example you wanted to share, Taradini, or
Non-stick.
yeah, perfect. So non-stick would be a great example. So non-stick pans. All right. Wow, we're moving through this really fast. Okay. Another all right, let's talk about these common prefixes. So one example is over, which means just too much. So for example, to overcook something, like in the one of the examples from our first slides. So to overcook something means to cook something too much. So do we have another example of overcooking something? Or I mean, not overcooking, using the prefix over.
Overlook. Overlook.
Yeah, perfect. Overlook.
Or estimate.
Overhead.
Perfect. All right, these are really good examples. All right. Next is outdo, which means just to go beyond. So if someone outdoes something at work, it means they did a really good job at it. Right? So does anyone have another example of a prefix using the word out?
Outgo.
Yeah, perfect. So if someone's outgoing or outgo, yeah.
Outward. Outward.
I think that is. I'm not too. Yes. All right. So outdo, outgo, outgoing. Could you say that one more time?
Outdoor.
Yeah, outdoors. All right. Next is post, which just means after. So this is one of the examples of prefixes that help describe time, right? So post just means after. For example, post means after an election.
Post pay.
Yeah, post pay.
Post-war.
Yep, post war. All right, I think these are pretty good examples. So post-election, post-pay, post-war, these are all examples of adding prefixes to words to show that this is something that happened afterwards, right? Awesome. Now pre is opposite of post. This is something that you use, or like a prefix that you use to describe something that happens prior to an event, right? So for example, prehistoric, like prehistoric dinosaurs, before history, like recorded history, essentially. So do we have any other examples of the word pre?
Preschool.
Yeah, preschool, perfect.
Prepaid.
Yeah, prepay, opposite of post-pay. So we got prehistoric, preschool, prepay for the word pre. All right, if not, we can just move on from this one. So another one is pro, which means in favor of, right? So in favor of, so for example, pro-democracy, or yeah. Do we have any other examples of the word pro? Or I mean of the prefix pro behind a word?
Pronouns.
Profanity.
I heard someone say pronouns, but pronouns don't, it doesn't really count because this is just its own word.
It's a word,
again.
right?
That,
It doesn't need a prefix.
yeah, this doesn't
The
have a
pronouns
prefix.
word.
This is already its own word. So the
No.
pro, it just happens to have the word pro in front of it, but it's not necessarily like a prefix. I heard another example. Could you repeat that, please?
Profanities.
Sorry, one more time.
Profanities. Profanities
I think profanities would also be
is a
considered.
word, right?
Yeah. It
Okay.
like I know it can get like confusing because a lot of English words do tend to have the same sounds in the front that prefixes have. It'll get less confusing with suffixes which come after, but this is just it's just something to keep in mind that there are some words that happen to have the sound in front. But prefix just follows already set like words or nouns. So we have pro-democracy. Like, and I know in America the word like pro gets thrown a lot, especially in politics. So we have like examples like pro-life, like pro-gun. There's a bunch of, sorry, let me, there you go. So this all just means that you're pro or in favor of something, right? All right. Re is another version of it, or another prefix, and it just means again. So for example, reconsider just means to consider again, right? So reconsider means to consider again. Does anyone have another example of a word using the prefix re?
Remarkable.
Sorry, could you say that one more time?
Refillable.
You guys are cutting out a little bit. Can we type these
Replay.
examples in the chat, please?
Reconnect.
Yes, reconnect. I heard reconnect.
Refillable.
Redo.
Reuse.
Reuse, yeah,
Remarkable.
reuse is good. With remarkable, it's like, I think it's one of those words that again are just a part of like, of another full word. It's not necessarily like when you say remarkable, it doesn't like the read doesn't necessarily mean again in this case. So it's like, it is confusing, but you will get used to it because remarkable is technically a word. It's just like, it's
Refillable.
yeah, resealable, perfect. Did I hope I spelled that right? Yeah, okay. Resealable, perfect.
Refillable.
Yeah, refillable, resealable. Perfect, good job. All right, next one is semi. So semi just means half. So half of a circle would be a semicircle. Does anyone have another example of the word semi?
Semi-hybrid.
Yeah, semi-hybrid,
Semi-final.
semi-final, yep.
Semi-government.
I have not heard that term yet, but I think, oh, it's a Sri Lankan term, okay, sorry. There you go, government. I semi-government. All right, nice. Perfect. Another example is, yeah, perfect, semi-truck. Someone said that in the chat. Semi-truck, good job. All right, so semicircle, semi-hybrid, semi-final, semi-government, and semi-truck are all great examples of using semi. All right. All right, so these are the last prefixes we're going to go over. Remember, there are more in English, but they're not as common as these. So you more than likely won't find them. However, if you do come across them, remember it's the same concept applies. And usually with words that have prefixes, there's usually some context around them, so it'll be easier to like decode. But we went over like examples that you will see like a lot in English writing and English speech. All right, so let's start with our last couple. The first one I want to talk about was sub, which just means under or below. For example, sub-Saharan, like the sub-Saharan desert. Does anyone have another example of words that use sub to prefix the word?
Subtitle.
Submonitor.
Yeah, perfect. Subtitle.
Submonitor.
Yeah. Submonitor.
Subwoofer.
There's also like it's a type of ship that goes underwater. Submarine. All right.
Way.
Yeah. Subway would count because remember or the subway is underneath the ground. Perfect. Awesome. So we have another one is super, which just means above and beyond. For example, superhero.
Superman.
Yeah, Superman would be does have a prefix behind it, which is super.
Supermarket.
Super fast.
Yeah, supermarket. So we have superhero, Superman,
Superstar?
supermarket. Sorry, one more time. Yeah, superstar.
Su-
Superstar.
supercar.
Superstar, supercar. Good job. Perfect. Some of these you don't even have to add the high superstar. These are all good. All right, perfect. These are great examples. All right. The next thing I wanted to talk about was tele, and that just means that prefix just means at a distance. So television, and it sounds weird, but tele is technically the prefix of the word television, right?
Telephone.
Teledrama.
Telephone, telegraph.
Teledrama.
Oh, teledrama. I
Telescope.
think that's what you said. Yeah, perfect. Telescope. There you go. Sorry. My computer's so slow. There you go. Television, telephone, telegraph, teledrama, telescope. These are all great examples. Like another one is like the superpower telekinesis is another example, like at a distance, right? All right, another one that I wanted to talk about is trans. So trans, just like as a prefix, just means across, right? So for example, transatlantic just means across the Atlantic. So do we have any more
Transport.
examples? Yes, perfect. Transport. Transport does have the prefix trans.
Transmission.
Transformation.
Yep, transmission.
Transparent. Translucent. Transformation.
It does use the prefix. Yes, it does use a prefix trans in it. There you go. All right, another one I wanted to mention is ultra. Ultra just means extremely. So if something is ultra compact, it just means it's extremely compact. So do we have another example of the use of the word ultra in a word? Or of the
Performance.
perfect, yeah. Ultra performance.
Ultraviolet.
Sorry, could you say that one more time? Ultraviolet, yes, ultraviolet.
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 Ultra power.
All right, awesome. So let's talk about the next one. Let me move this up really quick so we can still see. Which is un. So un just means to remove, reverse, or it just means like not. So for example, undo. So do we have another example?
Uncommon.
Sorry, one more time.
Uncommon.
Yeah, uncommon. So not common.
Unpleasant.
Perfect. Unpleasant, not pleasant.
Untidy.
Unpaid.
Unpaid. All right, these are really good examples. All right, so the last one I want to go over is under, which just means less than or beneath. So you've got undercooked, and then let's just get one more example or a couple examples for that one and then move on.
Underworld.
Perfect, yeah, underworld, which is beneath.
Underground.
Perfect.
Underwear.
Sorry, one more time.
Underwear.
Yeah, underwear. So undercooked, underworld, underground, underwear. These are great examples, right? Of the prefix under. All right, next we'll do like a little prefix activity. And for this one, we have this bank of prefixes, right? And we're gonna use that to complete each word. And remember, this doesn't mean that there's only one prefix for each word. That's just the prefixes that we're going to use for these words. So we can use them multiple times. So let's do the word fix. What out of these words up here, which word do you think best works with, or sorry, which prefix do you think best works with the word fix? I kind of already gave it away. Sorry.
Unfix.
Sorry, one more time.
Unfix.
Yeah, I'm the thing with unfix is it's not necessarily like a common use of that word, because you can't technically unfix something. I mean, I guess you can get the right.
Prefix.
Yeah, but prefix is
Prefix.
prefix is what we were looking for. All right, awesome. What about the next one? Mind.
Remind.
Yeah, perfect. Remind, like to remind someone of something.
Article.
Perfect.
Disprove.
Yeah.
Unlucky.
Unlucky.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Esther. You're like going really fast at
Okay,
it,
okay. It's okay. Okay.
but I'm gonna let other people have a turn too. All right, fair.
Unfair.
Yes, unfair. Perfect.
Replace.
Yep, replace. Perfect.
Redraw.
Redraw. Yep.
Invisible.
Yep.
Preview.
Review.
Mhm. Preview.
Incense.
No. If you're talking about like the incense like sticks, those will be spelled differently.
Nonsense.
Perfect. Thank you. Nonsense.
Expert.
Yep. Expert.
Illegal.
Yep. Illegal.
Misfrogs.
For this one, you could use unfrost, like, or to unfrost or defrost something is what's more commonly used. So defrost, to defrost chicken.
Mislead.
Yeah, perfect. Mislead.
Regus.
No. Uh, it is. I mean, I can just. Siri, do you want to give this a try? And then we'll see. But or Tardini. Yes. Disgust is what we were looking for.
Unusual.
Unusual, perfect. Right, can you say that one more time?
Illogical.
Yep. Illogical.
Re-
Perfect. Replay. I'm sorry, can you say it one more time?
Recall.
For this one, we're looking for decode. So a recode would work, but it's not really commonly used. So decode is something you'll see more often used.
Unhappy.
Happy.
Disrespect.
Respect.
Non-fiction.
Perfect. Nonfiction.
Deceive.
For the recede word, it would be spelled differently. So recede is spelled like this, recede. For this one, we're
Exceed.
yeah, so exceed would be an example, be a good example, but we can also use like proceed with this, right? Like something precedes something else. But yeah, these are good examples. Exceed, proceed. What about that?
Prefect.
One more time.
Prefect.
For this one, we're looking more for non-fat, like non-fat foods. We wouldn't really use like pre or re with this one. But it's okay. We're still getting still like a newer topic. There you go. I think non-fat is probably our best example in this case, so we'll just go with that one. All right, next one is whole.
Dishold.
So this one we would use this hold wouldn't be like the correct prefix for this one.
Freehold.
For this one, no, not freehold either. This one's a little harder, I know, because we didn't get to go over this specific prefix.
Mishold.
No, this one is withhold. So like withholding something from someone. I know this was harder because we didn't go over the prefix with, but in this case, withhold would be the prefix we want to use with that. All right, what about this one? The next one, fortunate.
Import.
Yeah, perfect. So important.
Interview.
I'm sorry, could you say it one more time? The word you're looking for in this, or like the prefix you're looking for is like retrieve.
Retrieve.
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
Teacher, I have a question.
Yeah.
But you not arguing or anything, but
Mhm.
you said that withhold is the one we're looking for, but mishold is also a word that is used, or is the only word that is used is misheld, or am I wrong?
No, misheld is also like a right way to use this, but in this case, like, the most common one was with, but we can still add the miss because it is correct. So to withhold something or mishold something. All right, what about the next one? Which prefix follows the word selent?
Excellent. Excellent, teacher.
Yeah, perfect. That's a good example. Or that's what I want to use. All right, perfect. What about flex? This is going to be our last one, and then we can move on to our conversation practice.
Reflex.
Perfect.
Reflex.
Reflex, unflex, like they're all you know, and also for
Can you use
decode,
the word unflex on sentence? I haven't
yeah,
heard that.
so for example, like if someone's showing off their muscles, he unflexed his muscle, I guess, is like, one way to use that in a sentence. So it's
Okay.
like to flex and then unflex. All right. We are going to move on to conversation practice because we're down to our last 10 minutes. So they're going to be our 2 prompts, and you guys can choose either 1 or 2 and we can talk about it. Can give you guys like a minute to think about it, and then we can go with volunteers, or I can call on people. So the first one is, you have the ability to erase only one thing from existence. What are your plans for it? And then number 2 is, what is the most admirable aspect of human nature, and then what is the worst thing? If you guys aren't comfortable with sharing that out loud, you guys can type it in chat to me, and then I can read it out. Oh. Ooh, okay, I think I might have to call on people, but let's see. Netula, would you like to try answering one of these?
I like to talk about the first one.
All right. So what would be the one thing you would want to erase completely from existence? And it can only be one thing.
I like to the Sri Lankan education system.
Okay. So the one thing that Netula wants to erase from the world is the Sri Lankan education system. Okay, and why is that?
Because of it is very difficult to teachers and students.
Okay. Okay, that's all right. Thank you for your answer. How about Asiri? I see you raising your hand.
I would like to talk about the first prompt.
First one? All right.
If you have the ability to erase only one thing from existence, what are your plans for it?
Mhm.
I would erase getting sick.
Getting sick?
Yes, getting
Okay.
sick. You can't get sick now. You're almost immortal. Only thing that you can get is like actually get injured or just die of old age. That's the only two causes of death. There's
Okay.
nothing in between. No painful deaths, no long deaths.
That would
No,
boost the human population
no
a
one would
lot.
have to get tortured because I got sick. Yeah, last week and it was torture. I don't want to get sick again. I don't want any other people to get sick again either. So sick
Okay.
again can go to hell.
Okay. So Sri Lankan education system and getting sick are the ones that we want to erase. Okay. Perfect. All right. Do we have any more? You guys can do multiple cases of it if you want to go again. But let's try. Chanmali, which one would you like to answer? And we could have just a little monologue with it.
First one, uh, I like to
It's okay. I know these are like hard questions I chose. I'm sorry. If it's all right if you don't want to share. You can just say it in chat later on when you think of it. Let's see. Bimba or Sitika, would you like to go? Could be either prompt. All right, I'll just throw like a quick one out there. So like pollution would be one that I think would help us a lot right now.
But then again, my prompt would counter that. You wouldn't get sick from pollution.
Yes, but you'd still have to live in like filth, you know? And
Ah,
but also
yes.
like so that's like one thing. And like plus there's a lot of animals out there who are like choking or getting hurt, which is not getting sick on like plastic and stuff like that. So, you know, I think pollution is the like pollution of like air and our waters and this plastic pollution. I just want to like if we could get rid of all that. I think it'd be good to help push humanity in the right direction, I guess.
I would. Can I
Yeah.
speak for the second prompt as well?
Oh yeah, of course.
Because I just. What's the most admirable aspect of human nature? What about the worst thing? Can you please describe the sentence a little bit more because I am finding it quite hard.
Okay,
Because
no, that's
the
fine.
second part looks like a separate sentence. That's why. What
All
about
right.
the worst thing, meaning the worst aspect of human nature, or is it
Yeah, worst
something
thing
else?
about human nature. So
Oh,
like yeah, so we have the most admirable aspect is something that is like common, I guess, in humans or just like a trait that's found in humans. For example, I think one admirable aspect of human nature that I think is specific or mostly specific to humans. There's other animals that do this too, but it's our quality of selflessness. So humans are one of the only animals in the planet that will risk their own lives in order to save either a member of their own species or a member of a different species. So I know that there's like people who will risk their lives just to get like like deers out of frozen lakes and stuff like that. So it's just like, yeah, so that's like that's what I find the most admirable aspect of human nature. And the worst thing I think about human nature is probably that how easy it is to corrupt humans with just power or money. So yeah. But like, yeah, that's what I mean. But like when or like I guess like a rundown of like what I mean by admirable aspect or like the worst aspect of human nature.
The most admirable aspect of human nature, I would personally say that uh, it's just I don't know what the response would be if I say this, but I personally like how if I know psychology, I can literally manipulate people. That's kind of an admirable aspect of human nature and one of the worst aspects of human nature, that a person who knows the way around humans can manipulate them however I
That's true.
want and treat them like a book.
You know,
That's
so
why I
I
just hesitated to give this answer, because some people might find me weird or psychopath or something.
no, I mean it is true. It is an aspect of human nature that because we are very social animals. So manipulation does come with, you know, the social aspects of like being human, you know. So yeah, I do think you mentioned even like the like I mean, I guess it implies that we do have like really high intelligence, you know? And so yeah, so intelligence and then like even like manipulation, I agree is probably
It's not about manipulation, I said. It was like more that I can observe a human and just
observe.
predict
So it's not
them.
it's not manipulation, it's
Observe.
just
No,
observation.
it's also manipulation. It's
Okay.
some I don't know how to word it honestly.
Okay, intelligence and then observation. I'm just okay. So yeah, but like that does we are like very intelligent animals, so it's yeah, I mean yeah, so like we are see, spelled that really weird. So
That's a
intelligence,
more
manipulation,
more nicer
so
way
yeah,
to say
psychology.
psychology.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Is there any oh actually we're running out of time, sorry. But I like these answers. You guys had some funny ones in there. Okay. Homework again, same as every week. I just want you guys to keep consuming as much English media as possible. That's just the best way to learn English. And like having English conversations. I don't know, like even like yeah, most people that move to America, like because some people tend to move when they're like past the age of taking like English classes. Here you have the option to take like adult English classes, but I mean even then they will tell you to just consume English media. Like I know I had like a friend who came from Iran, and he like the one way that he learned English best is just by watching like English like shows like Friends and stuff. So yeah, it just I just want to emphasize the importance of it to just keep on working on this. And next week, I do actually want to talk about the article, but I think next week I'm actually more curious of what media you watched. So um I'll put watch one English media. Homework is I want you to watch one piece of English media, right? And then you're just going to describe it to me. So it can be any like TV show or episode. If you're gonna watch a TV show, I want you to describe the episode. If you're gonna watch a movie, I want you to describe the movie to me. So instead of like reading, I want you to watch something and then I want you to tell me about it. So that's gonna be your homework. And yeah, so just try to get at least one English movie in, and then maybe start an English show or just continue an English show that you're already watching. But I want you to tell me about it next week, and then I can also write just a list, and you can tell us like if you like recommend it to the class. Okay, so just give us like a quick review, I guess, like so summary, review, and then if you would recommend it or not, basically. All right. so that is your homework for next week. Is this time I want you to watch English media, and then you're going to tell or give us a summary, like a quick review, and then if you'd recommend it or not for us to watch. All right.
Teacher.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone. And also great participation this week. Today. It was really good.